want to get it to one parenthesis and some weird little number on the outside. That's our goal, okay? So here's what's going to happen. Again, you can write it or you can just watch. I'm totally okay either way. I'm going with purple because it's going to make me happy. First thing is this. This 11 right here is bugging me. I need to use that completing the square thing to get it in the nice little handy parentheses, but that 11 is bothering me. So think about it this way. You're going to have a party, but your little brother, every time you put up decorations, he just yanks them down. So the first thing you're going to say to your little brother is, dude, just go outside and play while I set up. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll go outside and play. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore this for now. We'll put the Y in later. But for now, I'm going to say to my little brother, go outside. And how do we move that 11? We subtract it from both sides. It's like 11, just go outside. And he's like, fine, I'll go outside. So this is what I have going on. Have I confused anyone with what I've done? Right? I just moved him outside. Now I'm going to do that completing the square thing because that's going to help me get my handy parentheses. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little box right here. Now here's the only thing that's tricky. I cannot just randomly add some random ass box. That's not fair in math. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I am going to add the random ass box right there as well. Does that make sense? Because it keeps it all balanced. What I do to one, I do to the other. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the completing the square thing. We're going to go back and we're going to say, okay, what do I do with that -6? I cut him in half, and that makes -3. And -3 times -3 is 9. So I put the 9 here, but you know what? I also put him there, right? Because I filled in my box. So far, no one's looking at me like, you are just a crazy lunatic. I don't know what you're doing. Okay, so let's look at what we have at this point. Now, a lot of you are going to get pretty fast at this and say, Mrs. T, can I skip some steps? I'm going to be like, you go. But here's, with nice and slow, this is what we have. Have I lost anyone? No? Yes.
Why do we not make it a -3/6? I mean a -3x instead of a -6x?
Oh, it's just helping us decide what goes in the box. But we're getting to that -3 next. We're doing that right now.
Okay.
So now I'm going to do exactly what Joe says and says, now let's put it in the handy parentheses. And I'm going to do it just like Joe told me to do it. What's going to go in is x, tell me, Joe.
-3.
-3. Beautiful, beautiful. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Talk to me, Aiden.
How come the 9, it's adding there, but then when we put it to the other side, it's not?
Good question, and that's the trickiest part. If something is already in your problem, to move it, just to move it, we do the opposite, right? But if we want to put something brand new in that's never been there before, I do it to both sides. You get it? And I had kids all day who was like, do I do negative, do I positive? So we're almost done. We got one last thing to do. My little brother, who is now like a lot smaller, because I guess he was outside and a bear ate off his arms and legs or something. Now I'm going to bring him back to the party. So back to Aiden's question, I'm just going to move him. How do I move something?
Now you do it.
Now I do the opposite. Beautiful. And guess what? I am done. Y comes back. X minus 3 squared plus 2. And if I wanted to write the vertex down from yesterday, it would be 3, right? It's weird the first few times. By the time we get to the third one tonight, you guys are going to be like, oh, I got this. I'm fast at this. Like literally, I would say the other 2 classes, people were like, okay, this is algebra 2 I don't hate, right? So here's what we're going to do now. Let's do number 2, and I will write down the steps. Is that cool with everybody? So are we ready to rock and roll? Let's do it. So I needed to show it to you the first time, because otherwise it's like, what are you doing? You're so weird. And I'm like, don't make fun of me. Okay, so here we go. look what I did. I'm gonna draw a little line here. Is everybody cool with that? So, poor Joey sounds so much like Thomas. Thomas is like, okay. Here's my line. I'm gonna do the math on one side. I'm gonna write the steps down on the other. Yes.
Why does the y disappear?
Because we want to mess with the equation for a bit, and then it's just easier to have the y. You could leave it the whole time, but it's like, we're just putting it at the end. Because if I have it there, kids are like, what do I do with the y? It's like, he just sits there, right? Okay, so starting there, I like what Aiden just said. Let's start there. Ignore y. We're not really getting rid of it. We're just saying, dude, I'll deal with you later, right? So right here, we're starting there. It gives us a space to do some math, that's all. Step 1. Step 2, move the number at the end to the other side. And you know what I'm gonna say? That's your little bro, right? That's a little bro. Move your little bro. So we're gonna take that 43, and we're gonna say, dude, I'll deal with you later, but right now just get out of my way, right? So get out of here, 43. Just head over here. Now again, some of you are gonna be able to do a lot of this in one step, but you know, I'm showing all the steps, because that's my job. Okay, number 3, I love this part. Add in squares on, and here's what's important, both sides. Right? So I'm gonna do it in red because I want you to notice it. I'm going to put my box right here, and I'm going to do it right here. And that keeps it balanced, right? What I do to one side, I do to the other, right? Okay, step 3 is going to be, or step 4, complete, really, complete the square. And that's fill in your boxes, right? The official name is completing the square. The Mrs. Tarantino name is fill in your boxes. So let's come over here. Remember how I do it. I take the 14, I cut him in half, I get -7, I times it by itself, so I get 49 on this guy and 49 on this guy. Talk to me, is that a stretch? No, you're good? Okay. We're heading home now. We're almost done. So I said on my next step, clean it up.
Wait.
For 7 squared. 7 times 7.
Oh.
So by cleaning it up, this is what I mean.
What's the complete number?
Complete the square
So.
or fill in the box.
Okay,
Yes?
so whatever goes in the 14, you multiply that number by
Itself. Yes. So cut 14 in half first. 14 cut in half, and then square it. Now we're just about home. Number 6, handy parentheses. Again, I keep adding E's and S's that I don't know where they really belong, but you know what? I just add lots. Do you ever do this when you're a little kid? If you didn't know if it was an E or an I on a spelling test, and you do this, like say the word is pet, and you'd go P-E-T, but you dotted it, so that way it could go either way on a spelling test. Did you do that? Yeah, shut up. Did you not do that? I did not. You did that. Yeah, I do that all the time. It's like, oh, I'm not really sure.
I didn't know how to write
Or you're
cursive
spelling
back then.
conceive, conceive, and it's like, I'm not sure if it's an E or an I, so I'd be like, like that, and you just kind of put the dot right there. It's like, oh, it could be either way, right? There you go. Apparently, I clearly did not do great at spelling. So there you go. Because I'm like, I'll just dot it somewhere. Okay, handy parentheses. What do I mean by that? This thing. X minus 7 equals 6. You got it. Move your brother back. Move bro back and put in Y. So move my little brother back. Hey dude, hop over here. And again, some of you are going to be really fast at that. And then you're ready to feel like, I'm done. I'm done. But it's so much easier to take notes on something once you kind of know where you're heading. So, my brave friends, try the next one on your own with your table mates. I will do it with you in a second. Let's see if you can do it. You guys ready? I'll leave that for a second. People are still writing.
Alright, let's see how much you're gonna keep now.
Because you knew why. Excellent, Amy. So proud of you.
Should you? Do you wanna crop the video or like cut it so that
How would you want to do that?
Oh, that's okay. We'll leave it. We'll leave it. Because I'll do the next one.
To stop and restart it, it's just 2 files.
I mean that's it would
Didn't
be
you do that once?
We
It's
could
just better
edit
than
it.
being totally lost. That's all.
So wait, what are you using against this boss? It looks like ice armor.
No, that's just the skin.
You wait for a good opportunity to fight him, then you retreat immediately. And then you retreat immediately. Oh boy. You
But I
can't
will say,
kill him
Norman,
immediately.
you guys have to be careful if you're like cussing and stuff over there, because it will all get picked up in the video.
Danny swears a lot.
Okay, I'm stopping you guys from playing because we're gonna, so Norman and Shane are gonna watch me. We're gonna do the next one. Let's see how we did. If you're stumped, that's totally cool. I'll do it with you. Step 1, I'm gonna ignore this Y and this 11 for now, and I'm gonna move my little brother out of the way. Hey, 30, get to the other side. Some of you are gonna get fast
Why
and
does
just
the
say,
30
hey, Mrs.
cross
D,
the
can I
road
just do that
to
right
get to
away?
the other
And my
side?
answer is, you absolutely can, right? Now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my magical boxes. I'm gonna add my squares to remind me to complete the square. It's just a really handy visual way to remember to complete the square, right? I am gonna complete the square, and I'm gonna do that by taking the 12, cutting it in half. I get 6. 6 times 6 is 36. And what I do to this guy, I do to this guy. The same box. So I'm going to get here 6 equals x squared plus 12x plus 36. Hey, I have forced it to be able to go in the handy dandy parentheses. X plus 6 squared equals this guy. And now I need him to come back. Come back over here, dude. Like I said, as you get fast at it, they go pretty quickly. Yeah?
Yeah.
You guys want me to do the last one, or are we okay to stop here and you work on the homework? You want to do the homework? I got that. I got that. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I will. So we can stop.